What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Front Range Aquascapes. So, today we're trying a couple things a little differently. I have a new microphone, so we're going to see how that works out for us. I know that in my last video it was whisper, 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 whisper music. So we're going to try to edit things a little bit better. And most importantly, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be setting up an aquascape. So behind me, as you can probably see, is a used 15 centimeter cube. I bought the tank brand new. It used to have my yellow goldenback neocardinas in it, but I moved them to a larger tank. So what I'm going to do is, the premise of this video is to not spend any money on this tank. The tank I already had. The substrate, okay, yeah, I bought the substrate, but I'm an aquarist. I'm sure that we all have bags of substrate, but I ended up bartering for the hardscape. I got some petrified wood some petrified wood for rocks, and then I got some spider wood to use as a wood element. I also bartered for the livestock that's going to be going in this tank, and that is actually going to be some cherry red shrimp. Yeah, so some red cherry neocardinas. But let me get you set up to where we can start cleaning up this tank and scaping it and getting started. So what we have here is a Lifeguard Aquatics 15 centimeter cube aquarium that I did previously have set up. Like I said, my yellow goldenback neocardina started in here. But we're going to go ahead and clean it up and get it ready for some red cherry shrimp. So, what I've got here is just some water, and I'm just going to spray things down. And then I'm going to hit it with a Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. Alright, and there we go. Just like that, this tank is nice and clean. And now for the fun part. I know that I'm going to have this little no-name Da2 filter on it. And I know that I am going to have the filter right like that. Actually, I think I'm going to put it on this side. Yeah. And I'm also going to have a NiCrew light for this. But I'm not quite ready to put the NiCrew light on, because first we have to scape. All right. So I've got a bucket of rocks and spider wood. And as I mentioned, the rocks that we're going to be using are actually petrified wood. And then the wood that I got is spider wood. And I got this all through barter. As I stated, I bartered for all of this wood and rocks. I traded, let me see if I can remember correctly. I traded like 20 sun-kissed orange dream shrimp for the wood and rocks, and then I traded between 15 and 20 blue dream neocardinas for the cherry reds that will be going in here. So what we're going to start out with, like I said, I do have bags of different types of substrates just laying around because I am an aquarist and that's kind of what we do. So what we're using right here is Aquion plant and shrimp substrate. It's just a clay-based aqua soil. So I don't normally wash my aqua soil, but I guess I probably should have rinsed this because it looks like it's pretty damned dusty. Oh well, we'll live. I'm not putting livestock in it tonight anyway, so it will have plenty of time to clear up before I add livestock. And as usual, I am sloping it up at the back, and I want it higher in the back right-hand corner, which might be the left-hand corner for you, I'm not sure. But I want it higher over in this corner where I'm going than elsewhere. And I want none of it up at the very, very front because we're going to be capping this with either gravel or sand. I haven't decided quite yet. Alright, so I think that is probably more than enough aqua soil. And now we're going to start going in with some of this really, really cool petrified wood that I have. And I'm going to be using these rocks to hold back most of the aqua soil. I'm going to go ahead and say right away, I am not a big fan of the size of this aqua soil for nano tanks. I'm sure it's perfect for larger tanks, but for a nano, it's just being a real pain in my ass. So. Alright, I do think that I like that layout. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do, just to be safe, is I'm going to go ahead and grab some cotton and some super glue, and we're going to super glue these rocks together. Alright, so we've gone ahead and got our rocks pretty well glued in place. Like, they're not going to go anywhere. They're secure at least. And now I have some washed Quikrete play sand, and we're just going to go ahead and unceremoniously plop this in there. Sorry about that. The battery died, and I was in the middle of doing something, so I just went ahead and finished out placing the sand. It's not going to end up keeping the aqua soil buried because shrimp are going in here, but at least I am making an effort. That's what I tell myself, at least. I also went ahead and rinsed off all of the sand and dried the front as best I could. Now, we're going to go ahead and start placing some wood. That's going to be a little difficult to clean the front glass, but I kind of like it, and I kind of think that that's the only piece of wood it needs. Here, let me let you take a look. Well, when I was just moving or cleaning the glass off, I just realized that even with that up here like it is, I can still get in there and clean with a magic eraser. So that is a very good thing. I don't know if I want more like quote unquote roots coming off of this piece, though. I mean, actually, yeah, I know I want that piece. That piece is perfect. Alright, yeah, I think I like that. And I'm just going to use, because I know that the big piece is waterlogged, but I'm not completely convinced that the smaller piece is. So I'm going to do my old trick. I forgot to hit record, but I've already got a piece of cotton ball down in there. And to hide that, I will just use some plants. But as per usual, I'm going to go ahead and hook a light up to it, and then I'm probably going to sleep on it to see if I truly like the scape. But let's see what it looks like with some light on it. I think that that's going to be pretty damn nice. Like I said, I'm going to sleep on it. I'll come back in the morning and we'll continue where we're leaving off. Until then. Alright, welcome back. It has been a little over 24 hours. And what we are going to do now is we're going to start planting. But the first thing that we're going to do is, unfortunately, I don't know where my super glue gel is, so I'm just going to have to make the thin stuff work. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to add some moss. And I'm still sticking with the I'm not spending money on this. This is some really, really old moss that I've had that I just never opened. Bought it for another project. And I traded shrimp for this moss from a local fish store, allegedly. Because in Colorado, you're not allowed to do stuff like that. And I won't mention the name of the fish store. But I am going to put some super glue right there. And this is spiky moss. Alright, so I do believe that's going to be all the moss I am going to use, at least for the moment. And unfortunately, you're going to have to see through a slightly messy screen. Next up, I have a bucket down here with a bunch of clippings in it. And the first thing we're going to go with is some Lobelia cardinalis. Alright, so that's the Lobelia cardinalis. Next plant is Rotala Vietnam H. Raw. And all of these plants are just cuttings that I have taken from other tanks. So, once again, the basis, try to get a $0 tank by reusing, recycling, and bartering. So, I'm going to go ahead and put the Rotala over here in this area. Alright, and I've intentionally left just a little bit of space right in here for another red plant. And this one is Scarlet Temple. So I don't know how well that one's going to go, but we'll try it and see. Alright, and finally, I have a few cuttings of Bucephalandra brownie. And there we have it, totally planted. And I'll be damned, I think it's going to look pretty good. So, next step, water. Okay, to fill this up, I'm using the plastic trick so that I don't wash all my hard work away. Alright, so we've got it filled up with water. What you just saw me add was Aqua Vitro seed. Not sponsored. Great stuff though. Made by the same company that makes Seachem. And I am going to be putting some established filter media in here from another tank. But we'll do that tomorrow or the next day. But I am going to go ahead and get this thing started up for us now. And I currently have the filter on full blast, but we're not going to leave it on full blast all the time. But I just want to run it on full blast tonight, get any loose moss up, even though it won't get caught up. It'll end up somewhere in the substrate or something like that. That's fine. All right, so we're going to go ahead and let this sit overnight or maybe for a day or two. There's probably 2 or 3 snails that got in there. I know I introduced a ram's horn. Pretty sure a pond snail got in there. If not, I'm going to add more snails. And like I said, I'm also going to be adding established filter media to try to go ahead and kickstart this tank, because I already have the livestock for it, and I'm pretty sure I already said it's going to be a cherry red shrimp tank. But we'll check back in on this at a later date. It's been a little over a week, and really I haven't done a whole lot to the tank other than add some scatter gravel and some smaller broken up pieces of petrified wood. But this will be our 1 week check-in, and we'll check back in another week and see how things are growing along. So far, not a whole lot of growth, but I haven't lost any plants, so I think we're doing good. Like I said, we'll check in about another week, see how things are going. All right, it's been a few days since we last checked in, and I've been having filtered media running through it. Did a water change today. I think we're ready. I know that it's only been a couple of weeks since this tank has been set up, and normally I wouldn't do this, but all of the plants came from established tanks. The filter media is from an established tank. This tank has enough life in it to sustain the number of shrimp that I'm about to put in. And to go with my saving money, doing this just as inexpensively as I can, purely by bartering, I traded some blue dream shrimp for the cherry reds that are going in. So let's go ahead and start catching them and getting them in their new home. And there we go. I just added 10 cherry red shrimp of pretty high quality. I am going to be, there are 3 more high quality shrimp that I was unable to catch from the quarantine tank. I'm going to go ahead and try to get them and get them in this tank as well. At least 3 more. I believe there were between 13 and 16 when I first got them. But there's a lot of algae. There's a lot of moss in the quarantine tank. So, but here we are. You can see them venturing around their new home. The light will be going out here pretty shortly, and so we'll check back in with them in the morning. And it has now been 3 weeks since I set this tank up, and a week since I introduced the shrimp, and everything seems to be doing well. I think I lost 1 shrimp during the move. There's lots of shrimp in here, and in fact, I'm seeing at least 3 buried females. So it won't be long at all until this tank is just crawling with shrimplets. You know the usual thing. If you've stuck around this long, I'd like to ask you to like this video, think about subscribing, maybe share it. Things that cost you nothing, but believe it or not, they really do help get my videos out there to people. Until next time, until I see you guys again, remember to get them wet. Get your hands in the tank. Your tanks aren't going to look beautiful unless you put the work in. So, get off your ass and do something.